Three priceless 14th century sculptures have recently been added to the Museo dell'Opera del Duomo, permanently enriching the museum's collection. The most extraordinary is an Arnolfo di Cambio original, an apostle from the cathedral's first facade, while the others are two curtain-bearing angels by Tino da Camaino, once part of Bishop Antonio d'Orso's tomb. All three sculptures date back to the earliest stages of the cathedral's construction. We spoke with Opera del Duomo director Timothy Verdon to get an idea of just how important this acquisition is for the museum and how these beautiful works came to light.
Arnolfo di Cambio's beautiful figure of an apostle is one of several important statues made in the beginning of the 14th century for the then still rising facade of the new Cathedral of Florence, that after the removal of these works in 1587, when the idea was to create a more modern Renaissance facade, somehow got away from us. It somehow got out of the Opera del Duomo warehouse and resurfaced in the collection of a noble Florentine family, the Torrigiani, in the 19th century. The property has passed from one member of a family to another in recent years, and the new owners decided that they wanted to sell the statue and came to us first. They were particularly interested in seeing this work come back to its proper home and join the other works made at the same time by the same sculptor for the rising new Cathedral of Florence. This was really an extraordinarily generous gesture because sold at auction on the open market, this work would have fetched much more than in fact they asked us to pay. They had a very accurate idea of what we could afford. They asked a reasonable price for this, but they really did so at a sacrifice because with a deep civic sense, I believe, they wanted the work to remain in Florence, and in Florence they wanted it to be in its proper place. Here in the museum we have reconstructed in one-to-one scale much of that original facade, and so we have been able to put the apostle together with other pieces that were part of the particular group depicting the death of the Virgin Mary, of which this apostle is a part. What is curious, what is interesting, what really makes the importance of this apostle still greater for us is that while for the other Arnolfo groups we have his original statues, for this particular group depicting the death of the Virgin, which stood above the southernmost of the facade doors, we really have very little that is original. Our figure of Mary dying, mourned by the Apostle St. John, is a 19th century cast because the original is now in Berlin, where, alas, it was badly damaged in the Second World War. Other pieces are in other places. We have one small fragment that is actually marble carved by Arnolfo di Cambio. We had only that fragment until today when we unveil this extraordinarily powerful piece. That really proves that Arnolfo is one of the first European artists to deeply understand the drama, the high tragic dignity of much ancient art. Arnolfo had lived for 20 years in Rome before returning to his native Tuscany and working in Florence. It is an absolute masterpiece. It is one of the few original pieces we have in this particular group by Arnolfo on the facade, and so for us this is an extraordinary day.